All right, here we are. Once again, as I always say, back on the Dre Sanchez YouTube channel. It's Thursday, and we heading into Friday tomorrow. So let's do this. We are on Vatsim, wonderful people, in this Embraer 170 flying for Delta today. Headed over from Charlotte to Atlanta, and if everything works out right, on to Nashville. We are on the Vatsim network. Hopefully there is some traffic. I have already initialized the aircraft, so everything is good there. Hi, honey. As always, my lovely wife, queen of my life, is first to shout me out. Thank you, baby, for being here once again. And let's get ready to go on another adventure here, folks. Again, Embraer 170 going from Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville, Tennessee. If everything works right on Vatsim, I do already have the aircraft pre-staged and preloaded with our flight plan. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check the ATIS and make sure it is the same. Type in all of our frequencies and get up out of here, and then we'll talk about where the airplane is at, what we're doing, and how we're getting there. Once again, welcome to the stream, and let's make this happen. So without further ado, let's switch that over. Let's see if we pick that ATIS up again, and we'll make sure that it is still on Vatsim. The ATIS is still on, and we actually have Charlotte delivery on now, so maybe I'll switch over to that, which is 127150. Let's go ahead and stop this music for a hot minute, and let's figure out really what's going on with our life. ATIS should be coming in. I don't know why it's not, but we'll go over to clearance delivery 127150 and get that going. So let's do 127150, and let's go ahead and type that in, and should be 2715150. Charlotte clearance delivery Delta 318, gate A9. We've already filed our pre-departure clearance with Center. I was just wondering, do you want me to go ahead and refile that with you again and receive clearance? Let's see if they respond. If not, I wonder if it's a server issue. We are connected. I'm not getting anything for them to respond. So let's come back over here to, let's see, the ATIS is 13210. And let's switch that up. And still not receiving anything here, which is not a good sign. Let's make sure our output is where it needs to be, which it was. I had got the ATIS before starting, so if we don't get anything, without further ado, we will most certainly, and everything looks good up here, so not quite sure. Let's switch over to Atlanta Center 132975. We should definitely hear some traffic on there. Let's just switch these back over. 132 decimal, and we said 975. And let's also make sure we've got this situation going on. I don't know, for whatever reason last time this made a difference when I turned this on and off, so let's just make sure we've got that going on. But we're still not hearing anybody, so that's cause for concern. Let me type the ATIS in the second radio here and see if that makes any difference here. And then we'll struggle through this together. Again, hello everybody. Just working out some kinks here. It's always something. 132 and that's decimal 1. So let me just put it in this side and see if we get anything using our comms too. That is peculiar. So nothing on comms 2. So let's do a radio check again on this main frequency and see if we get a 5x5 132975. Any station is net. Radio check over.
5 by 5.
Okay, Tango Mike. Center, this is Delta 318. I received a pre-departure clearance from you. However, I do notice that Charlotte clearance is online. Should I just continue with your clearance? Because I'm getting ready to go for taxi.
Hey, Fairmont, I'm going to be your ground tower departure in the center controller, so just let me know you're ready to taxi runway 18, sir.
Okay, appreciate that, sir. I'll go ahead and advise when we're ready to taxi Delta 318. Alright, so there we go. We got that figured out, so we're not doing too bad. And
Rhino 36 to 718 2000, the Charlotte altimeter 2988. Expect ILS from my 18 left approach.
alright, so essentially what we can do now, since the aircraft is all buttoned up, what we want to do is come over here. We want to check, make sure all the doors are buttoned up, everything is green, everything is good, and we'll talk about weights and everything later. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the APU on.
536.
And I'm going to go ahead and put our red beacon on.
VFR, is that right?
And let's just get this going here
again.
again.
The Atlanta Tower, or I think it was approach, had a hard time with my...
See what that APU is doing. You can see it coming up here. Once this disappears, the APU is available. So let's go ahead and get that going. So APU is available. Or that's GPU is available. I'm sorry. So let's turn the GPU off. And the APU generator should already kick in. Bleed. Alright, and he's getting ready to close anyway. So let's use him and get off in the air, and then we'll go. So that's a good thing. So now we can come here. Somebody's mic sounds like it's stuck open. Alright. I think somebody may be doing that on purpose, knowing these folks.
1312, Memphis,
Alright.
Closed. Frequency change approved. Good night.
And actually, you know what we'll do? We'll go ahead and use this for the better pushback, simply because I remember now that, so let's to engage, so release the parking brake. So let's release that parking brake. And the red beacon is on. Alright, so he's closing in 10 minutes.
Roger, 466.
Alright, let's go ahead and get our pushback going now. So let's go aft. Now we'll take a look at our pushback.
To runway 20 at Concord. You ready to taxi? Yes, sir. Sorry.
So we'll just push straight back here. And
Roger, sir. All the way
one
down
in the center is right over there.
586.
So we'll just kind of come straight back into that open clear area. Alright. You can see here aircraft is still cold, so we're just going to pass all these markings here and get back into the safe area.
Just wondering, do you believe that approach will be closing as well in 10 minutes, or is he on? Actually, approach just closed right now. You can plan runway 27 left for row. Roger, we'll plan for 27 left, so it was 466.
Alright.
Delta 3198, plan runway 27 left. Roger, 27 left, Delta 3198, thanks. And Delta 3198, cross Aussie at maintain 12000 at 250 knots.
Just going to keep it pushing right back into this area over here, so we don't block any
at
aircraft.
maintain 12,000, 250 knots.
Now normally I could go to this little points here. These are their holding points, so if they, like yesterday for example, they told us to find holding point alpha, which I didn't find, but here's holding point 7 echo, 7 north, so on and so forth. So we'll go into this area and then we'll stop the tow.
Good evening, RNAV to MPass from 26 left, clear for takeoff.
Alright.
RNAV to MPass 26 left, clear for takeoff, Endeavor 2567.
Good thing is we'll be able to get in air and pretty much manage our own aircraft once this center closes. And we'll see if anybody else comes back on. So let's just continue to do this pushback just a little bit further into this safe area. Past this line here. Alright. And then we'll essentially leave out that way. So let's come over here now and stop this tow. And then we'll disengage it. Alright. Alright, parking brake is engaged. Now we can come up here. We need to get hydraulic pump 3A on. And we're ready to go for engine start without further ado. So we're just going to come right on over here and get the right engine up and rolling. Let's see here. So let me turn this off. And the problem may be why the engine didn't start. I don't think I need that bleed on. I think when it's off like that, it's actually on. So I get confused with these auto start jets. Let's try this again. And you can see the engine's coming on automatically. So essentially I had turned the bleed off thinking I turned it on, which I didn't. And then of course now let's come down here and turn our transponder on to TARA. Now the TCAS is normal, of course. Now we can go ahead and start the next engine here.
Number 2567, radar contact, climb maintain, level 3. Actually, number 2567, climb maintain, level 280.
Right.
That's going to be your final.
And we're also setting flaps 2, of course. We'll let the engine stabilize just before we get everything taken care of here. And another thing that we want to pay attention to, and we'll leave the speed on manual because we are going to have the aircraft follow the FMS eventually, but not right away, of course. Alright, those engines look like they're stabilized enough, so now we can most certainly turn this APU off.
2567,
and we are pretty much ready to go here. Everything looking good up top. Again, this aircraft is super simple, just for the simple reason that it is a pretty much automated aircraft. Atlanta Center Delta 318 with the weather is pushed back and ready to taxi. Alright, so we'll give him a second there. And like I said, I know he's getting ready to let's see, we're going to get this set up to about a 2,400 foot climb, so when we hit autopilot we already know what we're doing.
Say again?
Atlanta Center Delta 318 here at Charlotte with the weather is ready to taxi.
Delta 318, number 18 Center, taxi via Echo.
18 Center via Echo Delta 318.
Radar 36, maintain
Alright,
VFR
so
5,000.
let me also just get this in here and we're out of here. And this is just because he's going to be going off soon, and that's what we're going to switch over to. And let me check and see where we at on Echo. So essentially too easy. We're just going to literally turn right here, get on Echo 14 and all the way to Echo, and then we'll be ready for takeoff. And we'll follow the departure, which is the Bob Z4. And the Bob Z4 says leaving runway 18 Charlie.
Runway 27 right, taxi via Romeo.
Climb heading 183, then on head assigned by ATC, so we'll figure that out.
Oh, Roger.
Alright, so no worries there. So let's go ahead and get our, let's see here, we want our landing light on and the turn off light, so we have our taxi light on now, so we are good to go. And then of course we want to get our brake here to reject the takeoff, and we are all set up to go. We have our V-speeds in, so with that, parking brake is released.
Clear for takeoff, runway 20, heading of 180 after departure, Mountain Air 586.
Nice and easy today, folks. And one thing you got to do in this aircraft, let me turn the steering on, or else she won't steer, just like now. Alright, this next taxiway we're going to enter is going to be Echo.
Radar 36, enter right downwind for runway 18 left. Right downwind for runway 18 left, radar 36.
Alright. Alright, now we're getting ready to merge on Echo, of course.
Pacific 2993 to set and maintain 900,000.
Down to 9,000, Pacific 2993.
Continental 2479 to set and maintain 12,000.
Alright, we are officially on Echo. Super dark over here, so let's see what's going on with that. Lighten that up. Lighten the MFD up. Can lighten the ECAS up slightly. And we're going all the way down. Once again, everybody, welcome on board Delta Flight 318. Full service to Nashville, Tennessee with one stop in Atlanta.
Vectors for one departure of Charlotte Fighting 360, vector right traffic on my 18 left.
So once we get on our runway heading, we'll go ahead and square up our heading so it will match. And we won't belabor this whole situation. Alright, we're getting ready to take off runway 18 center. We'll call air traffic control and just make sure he's releasing us, because he's getting ready to log off. So
1700.
Again, that's the thing about Vatsim. They log on, they log off. It is what it is. So
Mountain Air 586.
Atlanta Center, Delta 318 holding short runway 18 Charlie on Echo, ready for departure.
Delta 518, fly heading 240, runway 18 center, clear for takeoff.
Okay, we'll fly heading 240 on takeoff and clear for takeoff for Delta 318.
Pacific 2993, turn left heading 180 to 718, 6,000.
Let's program that heading in there really quick. He said we're going to fly heading of 240.
Left heading 180, vector for the approach, Pacific 2993.
Alright, and we're coming on over to Jenny.
Near 586, clear direct icon.
Alright, let's get all the lights on here. Boom.
Roger, direct
And
icon.
strobe. And we are ready for takeoff.
Departure, Mountain Air 586.
And we're able to go up to 8,000, which is good.
Asiana 2513 heavy. RNAV to C Park, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, runway 27 left, channel 251 feet. Continental 2479, clear direct cloud.
Alright.
Clear direct cloud.
So have to make sure to get our auto throttle on. Alright. And the next thing we need to do here, folks, is get that auto throttle on, and we need to start the chronometer, and we are ready to go. Alright, let's try this again. Went to increase the throttles, and now the throttles aren't working. What is that all about? Let me just make sure my controls are good here. But it's, again, I tell you, it's always something. Let me take them off and then take them back on. Alright. So now we don't have any. Let me see if I put in reverse, if it'll do something. Alright. Huh. Alright, so as you can see here, we are having some malfunctions here. I don't know what is going on here. Come on, baby. Now I can't even get it off the, let's see, reverse thrust is off. That's a good thing, but we're still not getting anything from our flight system, so I'm trying to, it's one of these glitches that always happens, of course. And stream may be impacted greatly because we have no, let's take off this auto throttle feature here. Okay, so obviously it didn't like the auto throttle feature. Okay, so if I go into the auto throttle feature, it doesn't like it. So there we go, folks, but we can still take off, and I tell you, it's always something. Alright, takeoff power is set.
Delta 3198 land center is going to be closing momentarily. Fix the change to advisory. Good night.
Go to advisory, fix up for the ATC, see ya.
Asiana 2513, heavy radar contact, climb maintain, flight level 310.
Flight level 310, Asiana 523.
80 knots.
Alright, we got 80 knots.
Bill 1789, land center, good evening. When ready, descend via Jedi 2 arrival, land altimeter 29094. You can plan runway 27 left, I'm going to be closing here momentarily.
Alright, we can go ahead and lift up now. Alright. Positive rate. Gear is coming up.
Roger, you can plan for 26 right, I'm going to be offline here shortly, so be on advisory.
Alright, we'll just hand fly it here. He said we need to turn over to a heading of
2993,
240.
set maintain 4000.
Down to 4,000. 2993.
Alright, now we can go ahead with our autopilot.
479, set maintain 5000, then reduce speed to 210.
5,000, speed 210, 2439.
Asiana 2513, Atlanta Center, closing, frequency change approved, good night.
Now we have our climb here. I'm going one stage flaps up. Gear is up. Let's turn off those
Crescent Pacific 2993, turn right heading
runway
250,
turnoff lights
local
and the taxi lights. Leave the landing on.
2531 the heading.
You can see we're picking up speed.
Delta 318, radar contact, climb maintain, flight level 240.
Up to flight level 240, Delta 318. Alright, so now we can go all the way up to flight level 240. I don't know how we do it, folks. We managed to save ourselves.
Delta 1789,
Alright, going full flaps all the way up. And
2993 is
240.
5 miles from Bamboo.
I'm going to pull that speed back.
To establish clear down from 26 right approach.
And flaps are all the way up.
Maintain 4,000 to establish on the localizer. 2993.
He should be giving us a turn here in a second.
2993. Set a closing, monitor advisory frequency, good night.
Monitor unit competence 293. Thanks for the services. Have a good night.
Continental 2479, land center has to close at this time. Radar service terminated, change to advisory frequency is approved. You are following a Delta Jet 1 o'clock at about 900 miles at 4,000 during the 26 right localized. Will be number 2 following up to the airport. Have a good night.
Alright.
Thank you very much for the ATC services. We see you on
Let's go ahead and increase the range here.
Thank you very much. Continental 2479, have a good night. Bye.
Delta 318, proceed direct bombs. They resume the departure. Monitor unit common land center is closing. Good night.
Okay, we'll continue direct to Bozzy and we'll switch over to Unicom. Thanks for your service for Delta 318. Alright.
Touch aircraft on this frequency.
So now we can go over here to the flight plan. And he said go direct to Bobsy. We're going to push it in there for the vectors, or actually to this spot, activate it, and then now essentially we can come over here and hit the nav button. And now we're going to make this little sharp turn while we continue our climb. And let's see here for the speed. Let's get the speed all the way up because I'm getting ready to switch it over to the autopilot. So we'll keep our speed right where we're at. And now we can do, let's see, we'll do, hopefully it doesn't mess up auto throttles and flight level change. And that wasn't too bad. We got it flipped over and no big worries there. Now you can see there's where our top of climb is. And now the flight level change is taking over versus our versus mode. Now we can also increase that speed. So we'll pitch down a little bit. And then of course we need to come over here and a lot of stuff happening quickly. This thing is wigging out and we'll go over to Unicom now. So now we're on the Unicom and we're no longer with air traffic control just because they're off. Again, welcome aboard everybody. Sorry for the problems that we were having. But essentially now we are on our own and cruising. Alright, rejected takeoff has been put back to off. Landing gear is all the way up. We've already passed 10,000 feet so we can get those landing lights off. And our strobes are on, red beacons on, everything else is looking good, folks. And somehow we managed to have a okay takeoff, even though the throttles were doing something really funny before we did, but there's always something. If there wasn't any problems, then it wouldn't be flight simming. It absolutely would not. So now we are kind of on our own and in the gauntlet, which is no problem there. And of course, we can probably get some jams going back on. All right. We are rolling. We are past 10,000 feet, so now I can still increase the speed to 280. So the aircraft will pitch down. And there we go, nicely. Pitching down like it should be. And this flight is so short. Here in a second, we're getting ready to start anticipating our arrival. Again, welcome aboard, everybody. Delta Flight 318 with service to Nashville with the stop in Atlanta. In Atlanta, we should be going on over to gate B16. As you can tell, we are no longer in air traffic control's purview unless somebody else comes on. And the aircraft is climbing pretty aggressively in order to meet our climb. I'm going to go ahead and take it over though now. There we go. We can kind of get more of a moderated climb there, so it's not so drastic. That flight level change in this aircraft will shoot you up like a rocket, of course. Alright guys, and we managed again to have a okay takeoff. There's a few things we missed, like our flight controls check, but I just wanted to get up in the air with you guys and get going so we don't belabor that. Normally we're still sitting on the ground trying to figure things out, but I wanted to get this flight up and going, so boom, here we go. We're still climbing, and of course now we have somebody else jumping on, so we are going to have ATC. So now we'll get back to 132970. Alright, so 132970, so we'll come on back over here. Alright, so let's get the music turned down slightly. There we go. And let's figure out what we got here.
Atlanta, squawk 0, correction, IDET. Delta 1789, Atlanta, IDET. Delta 2567, ready to contact, maintain flow 20.
Just wait for them to finish their banter.
1789, ready to contact, flight level 300, 13 miles west of Dublin, descend via the Jedi 2 arrival, the Atlanta altimeter 2994.
2994, about Jedi 2 arrival, and we were clear to the first, expecting that as far as
okay, you can put that request in with approach.
Southwest 4, good evening, Delta 3198, descending on the Aussie 1 arrival.
Delta 3198, Atlanta.
Atlanta Center, Delta 318 checking in, flight level 193, climbing flight level 240.
Delta 3198, Atlanta, ready to contact, flight level 225, 15 miles southwest of Foothills, across Aussie, I maintain 12000 and 250 knots, information Delta.
Across Aussie at 12000, maintain 250 knots, information Delta 3198.
Delta 318, Atlanta, IDET.
night, Chapter 513, crossing 240, climbing 310.
Station 2513, Atlanta, squawk 2007.
2007, Ashana 513.
Level 318, ready to contact, flight level 207, 20 miles northeast of Spartanburg, VOR, climb maintain, flight level 240.
Up to flight level 240, Delta 318.
Station 2513, ready to contact, flight level 250, 45 miles north of Atlanta, climb maintain, flight level 310.
310, Ashana 513.
All right.
Southwest 466, flight level 360.
So we are cruising right along. Let me go ahead and check and see what the weather is doing in Atlanta. since this is such a short flight, basically by the time we go up, we're going to go down.
Flight level 360, 18 miles northeast of Charlotte.
All right, and the winds are out of the north. So winds are out of the north.
2567 at pilot's discretion to center maintain flight level 240.
All right, and I'm going to shut this music down here so I can appropriately hear the controller. All right, so as you can see, we're moving right along. Actual winds are out of the north, and these are all cross wind landings, so we'll see which runway we get. We'll come over here really quick and get straight into the arrival.
The Macon altimeter 2993 descent.
Atlanta ATIS is 125550. Decimal 550. And we'll throw that in there.
Delta 3198, contact approach 125.7.
Alright, now we are leveling out.
International aircraft, Atlanta airport information, Delta is now current, and the Charlotte airport information, Echo is available.
So Delta's current there in Atlanta. You can see us creeping up. So now we can just pick up speed slightly. Alright, and I'm also going to observe the arrival that we are coming in on Atlanta, which I believe is the Aussie 1. So let's look. Oh, the Aussie 1 has got a lot of information, so we'll see which way we're landing. That's going to make a big difference.
Number 2567, descending out of my airspace, Memphis Center, and well, let me see if Nashville wants to take your release deadline.
So if you see here, this is page 1 of the RNAV arrival, and this has a narrative for all the runways here.
2567, contact
And then you come over here, here's the narrative for the rest, so there's a lot going on with this arrival. And then we also want to take a look at parking gates.
Delta 897, Atlanta.
We're parking at gate B16.
Delta 897, information, Delta's available.
So
Maintain
B16
level
is here.
340 for now.
So if this is north, this is south, so let's get an overall look here. So if we're landing somewhat north here, here's the B concourse, and it should be on this side of it. Okay? So here's 2 north, and here's 2 south. So we should be on this side of the concourse here once we come in. And then again, if we look at that parking gate, there's the north, this is south, just like we oriented, just like we said. So in our parking gate, B16 is just one from this, one over from that little hump.
Southwest 26.
So we'll see how interesting this arrival gets. Now what I'm going to do, Owen Fask, how are you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year to you, since I haven't seen you chat on the stream yet. So welcome aboard, and thanks for flying here.
17 miles northwest of Montgomery Field.
So now what we need to do, let's clear this out. And I'm going to see if,
Delta 1789, contact approach 125.
why that's so dark. But let's look at our flight plan. And we have our waypoints all the way up to Sneeve. So I'm going to look on that arrival and see exactly where that's at now. So I'll look on Aussie. And Flask. Let's go back down here again and take a look at. Okay, here's where we are. There's Aussie. I'm trying to find, okay, there's that point. So wing. Okay, just making sure which way we're coming in. So essentially now what we're looking at is, here's Aussie, here's wing. So essentially if you look over here, dink. So we're coming from this direction here and joining the arrival this way, and landing east, expect to cross at 14,000, landing west. So then after that, after we get to Ozzy, as you can see here, this will be kind of our narrative, if you will, for our landings and what we need to do. So essentially we need to figure out what runway, but at least we know we're going to get to Ozzy here and then continue our arrival on whatever way that may be. So here's this narrative for these set of runways, and we'll take Ozzy and do this. And then of course if you come down to this page on this narrative, it shows points again and what we have to do. So that's what we're concerned with at this point. Let's look at our progress in the cruise phase.
Delta 897 at pilot's discretion, descend and maintain flight level 240.
And we essentially are doing pretty good because we're going to cross Ozzy at 14,000 or 1,200. So let's, yeah, 12,000 feet.
Quebec, say
so if we look at our distances from there.
241, knots, 41 Quebec. 1041 Quebec, roger, do not exceed 240 knots indicated.
So we should be descending pretty soon.
41 Quebec. 41 Quebec, traffic, 12 o'clock, 8 miles, same direction. 15,000 descending for 8,000 is a Airbus 320.
Now the good thing here is that we only have to worry about one point, waypoint really, with any specifics on there, and that's going to be the Ozzy, which it won't be this at all. So we're essentially going to let him tell us to descend via our arrival, and then of course the Ozzy should be at 250, and we're going to say at least at 14,000. So let's make that change now, 250, and we'll say at 14,000.
1041 Quebec, contact on approach 125.7.
So now we made that change.
125.7 for 1 Quebec, thanks.
And if
Southwest 466 at pilot's discretion, descend and maintain flight level 260.
now this should give us top of descent information. So our top of descent is 78 nautical miles here, or 9 minutes.
466.
And then I'll have to observe the weights for our landing. So essentially our fuel burn for this trip is we're going to be dropping 3,282 pounds. So I believe our takeoff weight was right between I believe it was 42,000 pounds. Let me check my chart here. Again, hope everybody's doing good. Things are happening pretty quick here. So let's see what our weight is right now. Okay, so 72,000 pounds is what I said, what I was thinking. All right, let me double check something. I was on the wrong page. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so all right, so 72,000 pounds. So essentially we'll be landing at 69 or even
Delta
68.
897 descend via the Jedi 2 arrival information, Delta.
All right, I'm going to show you the chart that I'm looking at for landing. Okay, here's the chart that I'm looking at. All right, let's get you guys a better view eventually. There we go. So now we're assuming we're going to be, you know, between 68 and 70,000. So these are going to be our V speeds and all that stuff here for flaps 5. If we do a full landing, we can assume there, but essentially this is what I have to look at in order to make sense. So I might even, for the VREF, make it 129. I usually do that since we're kind of going to be right in that nosebleed area. Let's see if we can go ahead and get the ATIS over there in the Atlanta area. And ATIS isn't coming in, it is Delta. So let's go back to our radio here, and 125.55 is the ATIS. I believe that Vatsim, because again, it's not the real world ATIS. Real world ATIS would be followed with Pilot Edge.
Better UPS 2568.
125.550.
Cruising at 350. Squawking 463.
UPS 2568 Atlanta, ident.
All right. Making some magic happen here. So we do.
UPS 2568 ident not observed. Squawk 2075.
So we do have Atlanta approach on, which is 1257. So let's go to 1257 here and have that ready.
Southwest 2699, leaving my airspace to the south.
And that's a benefit of Vatsim because we already know what the frequencies are. So there you go.
UPS 2568.
You can see those winds are making the airplane yaw. That's why it looks like we're flying sideways, but we're yawing right now, essentially because of how the winds are blowing us.
2568, radio check.
Let's take a look at those winds here. And you can see they're blowing us pretty good at 104, so that's why the airplane is flying at a cant to compensate for those winds. Alright, so to stay ahead of the aircraft, let's go ahead and throw in our landing speeds.
3310 Atlanta, squawk 2, correction. Let's see, squawk 2063.
Alright, so we're going to come here and actually we can go to perf.
Aircraft Charlotte information, Foxtrot is available.
Landing.
Airport information, Echo is correct.
VREF is 129. And before we do anything else, let me go ahead and double check the winds. We're at 4 knots.
3016 miles west-southwest of Shelbyville via Ward.
Okay, so we'll do 129 and then we'll add 5, so that'll make it oops, wrong button there. That'll make it 134 for V approach. And let me check what the climb out's going to be. So we're just doing flaps 5 landing.
68, Atlanta Center radio check.
Climb out will be right at 155.
Are you coming in and out wise?
And VFS is going to be right at 187.
2568, if you hear Atlanta Center, squawk 2075.
There we go. So now we have our landing speeds all plugged in there. Let's go back over to our top of descent information.
And maintain 12,000 and 250.
And from there, we'll figure out what we're doing with our lives since they talk to us.
Delta 318, cross Ozzy at maintain 12,000 and 250 knots. Information echoes current.
Okay, at Ozzy, descend and maintain at and maintain 12,000 with the speed of 250 knots, and information echo is current. Delta 318.
UPS 2560.
All right.
Radar contact.
So we do have our descent instructions.
Flight level 350.
I will essentially be manually descending us and managing the speed, even though I can let the aircraft do it. Alright, so Ozzy is here. So here in a second, once we start our top of descent, which shouldn't be that close. It might be that close because we're only descending down 10,000 feet. So we essentially need 30 nautical miles from Ozzy. So let's see how that works. So if we were to do 30 nautical miles before Ozzy, let's see, 16 and 20. So essentially, here shortly, in about 10 nautical miles or so, I'll go ahead and start our descent.
Clear direct Kiddo. Climb
37000. For us to descend to 12,000. So at 12,000, that means we're landing west. So I can only assume on the western runways, we'll probably come in on 26 right or 27 left. Hopefully we get the ATIS here shortly. You can see Ozzy just out of the 40 nautical mile range. Once it gets right in that 40 nautical mile range, I'll go ahead and start our manual descent. And then, of course, we'll cross that at 250. And one thing I'm going to do now is...
318, traffic 1 o'clock, 8 miles, flight level 268, descending to 12,000 is a Boeing 737.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out for the traffic, Delta 318.
GPS 2568.
So
Cross Glavin
he said about 1 o'clock.
4000, the LN altimeter 2994.
So we'll keep a lookout for that traffic, which I don't see.
2568.
All right.
And good evening, Atlanta Center Delta 2020 is with you at flight level 340.
Okay, Ozzy's right at that 40-mile mark. So now let's go ahead and select our altitude down to 12,000.
Delta 2020, radar contact, flight level 340, 46 miles east of the Wiregrass VOR.
So that's a really nice descent profile that we're able to get. You can see here our arc is right at Ozzy. So that's where we will be at 12,000, and I might even just, push it back one more from there. There we go. So we're at 12,000 once we get there already. And then I'm not going to slow the speed down until we get a little bit closer, of course. And we already know that we are landing west. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that arrival for west landing, which again is either going to be 26 left or 26 right. So from 26 left, Kaya. So after Ozzy, we essentially need after Ozzy. Okay, it goes to Harry. Okay, that's in there. And then from Harry,
Delta 2020 traffic 11 o'clock.
Harry is actually,
330 Boeing 737.
Harry, then Kilo. I'm trying to figure out where they're getting that Kilo from. I'm looking on the charts right now.
Roger, we'll keep an eye out for traffic Delta 2020.
So either way, we're going to go Kaya to Posey. So let us figure that piece out. So after Harry, let's see what we got here.
125.7, good night.
Yeah, see all of this.
Good night.
Okay, so this is actually already set up. Now I do see this. This is actually set up for an eastern landing, and that's why it is the way it is. So we are most certainly going to bypass that. So from Harry, we need to do Kaya. But before I make all these changes, I'm actually going to check the ATIS. Let's see if we can get that ATIS again. We are getting lower, and also that's going to help us with our altimeter. So let's come back over here to radio and make sure the ATIS is in there, and it is. So let's put it on down here.
4, simultaneous departure. Departing runway 26 left, 27 right. Expect our nav off the ground, departing runway 26 left, 27 right. Simultaneous approaches in use, visual approach runway 26 right. Visual approach runway 27 left. North of Airmen. Operate in concert with most Charlie Osmo ramps, taxiways, and runways. Advise on initial contact. You have information echo. Approach 125.7, good night.
Over to approach 125.7 for Delta 318. You have a good night as well. Alright, so we just missed the ATIS, so 1257. Alright, let's see if we can finish getting that ATIS quick.
5,000 broken. 20,000 blue, 615. Temperature 9, 2.7. 15. Altimeter 29904. And 615, we're ready to copy with echo.
Alright, so we have 29904.
November 4 in Quebec. Do you have the Atlanta airport in sight? 12 o'clock at about 13 miles.
Alright, let's go ahead and reduce our speed to 250.
November 4 in Quebec, roger. Descend maintain 3,000.
Atlanta approach, Delta 318, 16,400, descending down to 12,000 across Ozzy.
Delta 318, Atlanta approach, roger, runway 26 right.
Okay, 26 right transition for Delta 318. Alright, so we're doing the 26 right.
November 41 Quebec.
So now we can put Kaya and Posey in there. So now that's where we come in and make our money. So for this,
Yes, 41 Quebec.
Kaya.
Delta 1789, clear to land, runway 26 right.
Clear land 26 right, Delta 1789.
Then we're putting in Posey.
Landed departure Delta 53 with that.
Posey. Boom. Then after Posey for 26 right,
Delta 53 PDC set.
Kaya, then on track to Posey, then Zelo. Then Zelo in there.
Atlanta approach, UPS 2568.
Zelo, oh, I forgot a W. Shame on me. Okay, Zelo is in there.
UPS 2568.
And then from Zelo, on track to Haynes. Hotel Alpha India November Zulu.
Number 41 Quebec, clear to ILS 28 approach, and runway 28, clear to land, wind 3406.
Now let's activate.
Runway 28, 41 Quebec. Southwest 466, maintain 250 knots, instead of maintain 900,000.
Alright, so let's declutter that.
Maintain 250 knots, then at 9,000, Southwest 466. Delta 897 heavy, landing 340 vectors to final, descent of 5,000.
Alright, so we should still be bleeding some speed. So after Haynes, so now what we can do is let's go ahead and put this thing on the heading select. And then we're going to go to heading mode for a second. Now we need to come in here and we need to go to our nav and we need to put our arrival. And we're going to do the ILS 26 right. ILS 26 right. And let's go back up now. Transition Haynes, that looks good. So activate that. Let's go to the flight plan, or let's go to route data. Okay, flight plan, Posey, Haynes, and then we should be getting Bamboo. Now I think we're good to go. Ozzy, Harry, Kaya, Posey, Haynes, Bamboo, AJ, runway 26. So that should have us, and we can come right back on over here and put our LNAV back on, and we're crossing Ozzy. So there is our arrival right there.
Parking via Bravo Hotel Foxtrot, cross 26 left at Hotel.
So we'll put the brake on medium.
Hotel Foxtrot, cross the 6 left, Hotel Delta.
All right. So now we're cooking with Crisco. Now we need to get the localizer in there for 26 right.
2568 heavy, descend and maintain 12,000.
Out of 12,000 for UPS 2568 heavy.
All right, localizer is 110.1. .1 for the localizer. Now we can put that in. Let me see. I think we need to switch that over. I said 1. Let me see. Clear. There we go. 110.1. Boom and boom.
Southwest 466.
And the heading is 275. So we need to come over here and hit this preview button. And the course setting is
275. Just the final. Southwest 466. Delta 897 heavy, flighting 320 now. Vectors to final, descend to 3,000.
All right.
Delta 318, descend to maintain 9,000.
Down to 9,000, Delta 318. Okay, down to 9,000. All right. And that 9,000 really is for Kaya, because I'm checking the chart. So there we go. Let me check on you guys. It's been quite the busy flight. Sorry I haven't been engaging as much, but we are essentially trying to make it happen here. Now we are coming on runway 26 right. I'm going to take a look at what our taxi is. So here you go. Here you guys go. Here's 26 right, and we're going to the B concourse on this side. So when we land on 26 right, we'll get off on B5 or B3, but we know the concourse is over here, so everything will be to the left. So we'll get probably some complicated.
Speed at 210.
Oh, so complicated. Taxi.
Right now.
Is 320.
Roger.
All right, so our speed is 250. So we're doing good there. And here in a second, we'll start reducing to maybe 230.
41 Quebec, welcome to Atlanta Airport. Where are you parking today? 41 Quebec, Roger. Taxi via Sierra Juliet, Sierra Charlie.
All right, I'm going to reduce the speed to 230. Our next altitude he should give us is either down to 8,000 for Posey or above 5,000 for Harry.
Sierra Juliet, Sierra Charlie, and now we'll short up runway 28 left.
All right, and we are below 10,000, so let's get all of our lights on.
Quebec, hold short 27 left. 27 left. Hold Quebec. GPS 2560.
All right, all our landing lights are on. And check. Landing V speeds are verified, and we have the auto brake set to medium.
Thank you. Delta 318, fly heading 200, vectors final, descend and maintain 6,000.
Heading 200 down to 6,000, vectors to final for Delta 318.
Southwest 466.
All right, 200 and down to 6,000.
Intercept the localizer, descend and maintain 4,000.
All right, so we're pretty much on that heading. So let's go ahead and
down to 4,000.
that. And now it is down to 6,000.
Heading of 220.
220 on the heading, Delta 318. All right, so 220 on the heading, and we're going down to 6,000. Let's go ahead and get that going.
466, maintain 210 knots or greater.
210 or greater, 466.
So 318, same for you, 210 knots or greater.
Okay, we'll main speed of 210 knots or greater, Delta 318. All right, so now let's get on the heading of 220. And we'll get our speed down to 210 or greater. So right now we're doing just fine.
97, flying 340 vectors, or localizer.
All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to take this and we're going to put it on our localizer 1, which is great. If you come over here, we've already got it set up. So again, lots of stuff happening super quick.
466 is 11 miles from AJ, maintain 4,000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway
Lots of stuff.
Red approach, maintain 180 knots or greater until AJ. 4,000 to establish no localizer and 180 or greater until AJ, clear ILS 260 right.
275.
Delta 318, descend and maintain 4,000.
Down to 4,000, Delta 318. All right, so now we're going down to 4,000.
5,000.
Down to 5,000 for UPS 2568 heavy.
All right, let's go ahead and get our speed brakes out a little bit here. We want to slow that speed up. Let's go ahead and get a wing view here. What's going on? You can see that speed brake is out. And it's a nice clear day here in the Atlanta area, except for this side is not so clear. So the passengers on this side are more in the benefit area, I would say. All right, we're bleeding that speed right now.
27 right. Delta 53, runway 27 right.
So here's final. So we definitely need to go ahead and get our speed
right, Delta 53.
a lot further.
Delta 318, turn right heading 240, intercept the localizer.
Right, 240 to intercept the localizer, Delta 318.
Delta
All right.
897, thanks for the
So
help tonight, turn left heading 290.
we're going right 240, and that's why I'm always glad that I do set up that localizer. So now we just gonna have to put the approach button on. All right. Approach button's on for the localizer.
Good evening, Atlanta approach Delta 2020.
And we still need to
arrival at flight level 170.
bring the aircraft
Echo. Delta 2020 Atlanta approach, runway 27
down in
left.
speed.
27 left, Delta 2020. GPS 2568 heavy, reduce speed to 180.
180 for 2568 heavy.
Alright, let's look at our flight plan here really quick. We got Haynes 4000, Bamboo at 4000, then AJ at 2700. So we are definitely decreasing speed now, because we need to get our speed down, of course. So we can even bring that speed all the way down to 170. Speed check flaps 1. Remember, approach speed is about 134. VREF is 128, so we're doing about 134. We're just looking to get that localizer here. All right.
Delta 318 is 10 miles from AJ, maintain 4,000 until established on localizer, code ILS runway 26 right approach, maintain 180 knots until AJ.
Okay, we'll maintain 180 knots until AJ, and we'll maintain 4,000, cleared ILS, runway 26 right approach, Delta 318. Alright, so he wants us to maintain 18 knots, which we can do. Now what we want to do is look at our placards here. So even at flaps 3, we can still do that. Flaps 4 is 180.
Turn right heading 180.
Right, 180
So speed check.
for Delta
Flaps 2.
heavy.
Southwest 466, runway 26 right, clear land. 26 right, clear land, Southwest 466. November 41, Quebec at Sierra.
Alright, we should see this needle moving here any second.
7 left, hold shoulder, runway 27 right at Delta.
Okay, the needle did go active. It's green. And the localizer has been captured. Now we're waiting for the glide slope.
Delta 897 heavy, wind 3406, runway 27 left, clear land.
Alright, so speed brakes are in.
Quebec, trying to make sure hold short of 27
Landing
right
lights are
at,
on.
Delta.
V speeds are checked. And the medium.
GPS 2568 heavy, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000 for 2568 heavy.
Alright, now we are direct.
Runway 27 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff,
Okay,
27 right.
so we're going to maintain 4,000. And you guys can see there's the runway over there. So not doing too bad. I'm going to get my taxi chart up so we know what we're doing in my rusty dusty pen. And let's see what type of arrival we get here.
2568 heavy, turn right heading 240, intercept the localizer.
240, just intercept the localizer for UPS 2568 heavy.
Alright. So everything here is working out quite nicely. We'll get on the ground, get to our gate of Bravo 16. And we're
318, runway 26 right, cuddle land, following traffic at about 2 mile final.
Okay, runway 26 right, clear to land, and we'll follow company traffic on a 2 mile final for Delta 318.
PS 25.
Alright, so we have been cleared to land.
4,000 to establish localizer, code ILS 26 right approach.
And we're almost to AJ.
And we established the localizer.
And you can see the weather just updated, so it looks like it's a good thing we are on the ILS. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling that speed back. And we're going to go landing gear down. Alright folks, you're going to notice the gear handle come down. There goes that gear handle. And we're going to flaps 5, of course. Alright, we're going to flaps 5.
Number 41 Quebec at Delta, cross runway 27 right.
Gear
Delta,
is
hold
down.
short, runway 26 left.
3 green, flaps are set to 5. The target speed is going to be and again, that's going to be about 134. And there we go, guys.
Atlanta, JetBlue 615, approaching the south end of ramp 1, ready to taxi. JetBlue 615, runway 27 right, taxi via Mike. 27 right via Mike, JetBlue 615. Delta 53 departure, ready to contact, say altitude.
Alright.
4,700, Delta 53. Delta 53, climb, maintain 140.
Okay, guys, we're going to go auto throttle and autopilot off. Alright, autopilot is off. As well as the auto throttles. Let's pick up speed a little bit. And now it's time to make some money.
Heavy, welcome to Atlanta Taxi via November Tango and Mike Cross 27 right at Tango.
Alright. Got a nice little profile going here. Come back on that speed just a little bit.
GPS 25, 68 heavy, 4 miles in trail of an RGN, about a 4 mile final, wind 3406, runway 26 right, call in.
Clear to land, UPS 25, 68 heavy.
Delta 53, contact the center, 132.907.
Pick up on that speed slightly.
132.907, Delta 53 ship.
Land departure November 012 Delta Mike on the ground at McCollum, looking for clearance to Kilo Sierra Indigo Fox Airport.
November 012 Delta Mike, Atlanta approach, roger, clearance is on request.
Alright.
Southwest 466, vacate 26 right on the Bravo 5, looking taxi.
We do a replay here, which we'll try it.
Bravo Hotel Foxtrot, cross runway 26 left to hotel.
Let's get on the ground first and have a safe landing before we even worried about that.
Bravo Hotel Foxtrot and cross, I'm sorry, which one was that?
26 left at hotel.
26 left at hotel.
Alright, back on the speed.
Southwest 466, thanks.
Hopefully this
November 012
Southwest guy gets off the airport.
Shiloh Airport. Via radar vectors, Logan, then as filed, maintain 3000, expect flight level 190
back on that speed.
in 10 minutes. Departure frequency 125.7, squawk 0460, hold for release.
Kind of crab it in there, see some traffic down there.
Radar vectors to Logan, and then as filed, expect, or maintain 3000 feet,
Right at
expect
VREF.
level 190, departure with you, squawk 6460.
0460.
0460, squawk 0460.
And November 012 Delta Mike, read back correct, hold for release.
All right.
Advise number 1 short of the runway, and just let me know runway.
And the reversers are out. We gotta remember we're going off to the left. Reverse free.
November 41 Quebec,
All right.
Delta, cross runway 26 left, hold short on runway 26 right at Delta.
And nice butter landing.
Alright, Delta, clear the cross 26 left, and hold short 26 right, 41 Quebec.
Delta 318, welcome to Atlanta, taxi via Bravo Hotel Foxtrot, cross runway 26 left at hotel.
Taxi via Bravo, Foxtrot Hotel, cross runway 26 at hotel for Delta 318. Alright, let's get the aircraft all cleaned up really quick. And that way I can actually...
November 2 Delta Mike, the Colin Tower is closed currently, so it's just uncontrolled airport ops.
And we need to get the APU on, of course. Boom.
No, just
Boom. And let's get the landing lights off, of course. And let's get that strobe off. And he said we're doing Bravo. Bravo to hotel. Okay, got it. Alright, so let's continue our taxi. So we're going Bravo to hotel, and we'll cross runway 26 at hotel. Alright, let's make sure the aircraft is all cleaned up. Welcome into Atlanta, folks. Very busy time. And butter, yay! Thank you, baby. Always looking for that butter landing. We did it.
6 right, and taxi to parking via Alpha, we'll see ya.
Alright, Delta, clear the cross 26 right, Alpha, thanks for your help.
From UPS 25.
You can see another aircraft there, taxiing.
Heavy, turn right at the end there, and you can taxi department via Alpha, we'll see ya.
Now we're on Bravo, we're going all the way down to hotel. And then we'll be looking for
Delta 2020 descend to 7,000.
our gate.
Feature choice.
which is
Set
Bravo.
1,000, speed of pilot discretion.
Our gate tonight is Bravo 16, my peeps. You see there's a UPS plane over there. Looks like he just landed. And he's using full runway, so I'll have to keep an eye out for us, of course. Again, folks, busy time here in Atlanta. And I don't even think we're going to do a replay. Let's just keep rolling so we can get on over to Nashville. And he's going over there to his terminal. All right. Hotel will be the next one. Not a bad flight. Super, super busy. As I knew it would be. Let's see if we can get a quick turnaround and get out of here. There's that UPS plane over there just coming in. And a lot of people on Vatsim tonight. So, this is hotel, my friends. So in we go. On over to hotel. Alright. And now essentially, let me see where we're at. So essentially we're straight ahead. On our right. Okay, so on our left is the B concourse. Let's just go up a little bit further. We were okay to cross this runway, but we should always check final.
Delta 2020, descend and maintain 4,000. Descend and maintain 4,000, Delta 2020.
So to the right, that is the Alpha concourse. To the left is Bravo.
Hold position here.
November 41, Quebec, you taking that next right turn? Yeah, we're going to the city hangar. Full Quebec. UPS 2568 heavy, you can continue taxi.
Let's see, aircraft is cleared here, and we'll go ahead and continue taxi.
JetBlue 615 on F slow, runway 27 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 27 right, JetBlue 615.
Normally this flight is taken care of with a CRJ, I believe 900. But Delta I think also does fly E170, but I'm not sure on this route. But we did it because we're cool kids.
Liner approach, Delta
Alright,
1955,
so now,
crossing 15,000 for 14,000, inbound, Lagrange, VOR. Delta 1955, line approach, runway.
now we should be
Echo,
on the right runway. Let's see, what is that? Bravo 20 something.
Echo, and runway 27 left. Altimeter 2994 for Delta 1955.
Okay, that is Bravo
Landed departure number 012 Delta Mike holding short runway
12. Here's the big hub. We're supposed to be one gate past this other one here.
Release for departure, clearance void, if not off in 5 minutes. If not off in 5 minutes, advise Atlanta.
Okay, looks like we're going to have to alter and go to the first one because there's an aircraft in our parking space, which is that next jet over there. Sorry, Gate Gourmet. So this should be 14, and right next to us is 16. So we did not get our gate because we didn't want to. We got it because there was another aircraft in there. Actually, 18, I'm sorry. And that should be 16 right next to us. But we'll take one off. Just shows that we can taxi ourselves to the gate. Alright. Sliding right up. And we're going to go to the CRJ line.
Delta 2020, turn left heading 360. Left heading 360, Delta 2020.
Alright, parking brake is set, of course. Let's go ahead and get those taxi lights off. And we'll leave the red beacon on. Actually, we could take the red beacon off. And of course, we need to turn our transponder off. So let's come over here so that they know we are no longer an active aircraft. And let's just make sure that APU is on and up and running. So as soon as we turn the aircraft on off, it's a switch right over to the APU, and then we can get back going for what we need. So we're going for the right engine off, and now let's go left engine off, and we'll just leave those open. And welcome in, guys, here to the Atlanta airport. And we probably don't need to disconnect. Let's get us a nice little shot here. So now we can consider ourselves disembarking. Let's really quick get a look and see what the chaos of this airport has us going through. Before we get to Nashville, you can see there's quite a bit of aircraft here. Got another guy over here just came in. I think that's that same UPS. But we got a lot of aircraft in here. Vatsim. Everything with the yellow tag is a Vatsim pilot like me flying online right now, and you can see there's quite a bit all over the airport. So without further ado, let's get back in and do what we need to do. And we can turn them off for now and get us some tunes going back on for sure. That's what we need. Lots of tunes right away. All right. Let's get these tunes jamming. All right, folks. Welcome in to Atlanta. Let's take a minute here to give ourselves a wee rock. We got a butter landing, and now let's go ahead and get in here and initialize this so we can get out of here. All right, let's clear that. We're gonna come back over here to our menu, and we want to initialize, activate. Okay, now we can come over here back to the flight plan. Go position initialization, that's done, and now we come over here to the route, and we are going from Atlanta, and we are going over to Tennessee. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you guys a little wing view here really quick, see which is more exciting, probably this way. Let's give you guys a look outside that window, because I need to get the flight plan together for our next flight, which will take a hot second here. Alright, let's go. Let's change some jams up here. Alright, new flight. We will still be, of course, Delta 318 with service on over to the Nashville area. How's everybody's week going so far? Then I will update my weather too in the active sky next for X-Plane. Alright, we are an E170. Alright. Almost ready to start putting these points in so we can get out of here. Again, thank you guys for joining me here on this wonderful flight. The actual flight that takes place, let's take a look at that really quick. So, it's still Delta, and just to let you guys know, they do fly a Boeing 7112 and a 738 and a 737-800 and a 737-700 for Southwest, but you can see Delta's pretty much 738s, but we're flying an Embraer 170 because we can and because we're cool. So as you can see, it's only 349 static miles here, and we're going to do a Delta typically flies at flight level 280. Then you got one here at flight level 240, but I think we could do flight level 280 on this one, so that's what we are going to file. So as I'm getting the flight plan together, I'm going to put that altitude that I wanted. I want it at 28,000 feet, And let's also put an extra 1,000 pounds of fuel on board so that we don't run out of that good go juice. And then I always, let's see, pencil to pencil, Jaguar Swift. I always do an analysis to make sure that's what it is here too in the real world. SimBrief pretty much does that. So we have a real world route, and route distance is super short. So let's go ahead and generate this flight plan, and then we will have done it together. And then we need to adjust our fuel stores, of course. So 43 minutes, short flight coming up here, folks, once again, and we need 8,383 pounds of fuel on there. And we can always assume we're taking off from runway probably 26 left, I would imagine. Let's see where we're at. So we'll program in 26 left, which makes sense to me, unless they give us 27 right, which he might. So we'll see. Either way, we'll program in our route, so there's no worries there. Alright, so let's get 8,383 pounds of fuel on board. The way we do that, now we're in the cockpit again, and you can see here we've got about 6,000 pounds of fuel on board. So now if we hit it where we can manually enter it, we're going to add the fuel that we need, which is, like I said, 8,383 pounds. So we're just using this as a little plug-in. So 82.15 is what it gives us, or 84.35, so we'll do that. So now we know we need to fuel the aircraft. So the aircraft now is going to fuel up to this target of 8,435 pounds. We'll make sure it says at least 4,000 per tank with 200 and, let's say, 42.15, somewhere around there is what it should say. Okay, I was off. 42.16 on the right tank, 42.19. My math teachers should be proud of me. Of course, we still have the payload in there, so now that's going to determine what our takeoff weight is going to be. Now we can go ahead and let's make sure we put this thing back on the FMS. And we can take the preview off. We don't need that anymore. And then now we can start planning our route. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish putting in that we are Delta Airlines 318, and then we will refile also a flight plan with Vatsim. And of course we need to come over here to nav. We need to go to departure, and I said that we were probably going to do 26 left. That can always change. 26 left, and then our departure is the pencil 2. The pencil 2. So pencil 2 in the house. And then the transition point is pencil. So these are the only transitions that it gives us, so we'll stick with that. We'll activate that. Come over here to the route next. And let's see. Didn't take that. Alright, let's go back to now. Let's do departure again. We said it was Z26 right, or I'm sorry, 26 left. And let's try this again. Pencil 2. And yeah, there is no other transition here of that. Let me look at my flight plan and see if I can just make this thing happy and transition in there. Pencil park, pencil 2, pencil. Yeah, there is no other. So let's activate that. Now let's go over to route data. See if it took it, and it's still not taking it. And there's literally nothing there. Let me look at that pencil 2 departure and just make sure what actually that even entails. All right, pencil 2. Yeah, it's a precision approach, so we should be getting some points on there. So, okay, pencil 2, pencil. Okay, so essentially I'm gonna say that leader is our, so I'll do this again. Sometimes you got to trick these things here, so it's no worries there. Let's go back to departure, select the runway, and we're just gonna play tricks on this thing. So we're gonna say pencil 2, and we're gonna say the letter is our transition point. Now let's activate that and go over to the route and see. There it is. So it like that. So I'll make a change there. Then after letter, of course, we're going to actually put the transition to the arrival in, which is absolutely Jaguar. So that's Juliet Alpha Golf India Romeo. Boom. Jaguar, activate it. Now we can come over here to our perf, and we can do our, actually let's go to nav and do our arrival, and we're going to be arriving to KBNA on the Swift 2 and the Jaguar transition. Activate that. Now we can come back over here to the flight plan, or actually let's go to the route, and there you go. That's all programmed in. Now what we can do is do a little trick-a-rooski. So here's pencil, here's next, and this letter is what we essentially want to delete. So now we can play tricks with this. We're going to delete that. Then we're going to say Jaguar, and we're going to activate it. So now I don't have that waypoint in there that I didn't want. So we have pencil, then from pencil direct Jaguar, and then there's what it is. Now let's go over to our perf, my peeps. So we're going to go here. All this page is good. We're going to go next here. We're going to say we have 2,000 pounds of reserve fuel, of course, because we do it like that. And then we're going to say our cruising altitude is at flight level 280. Here is our weight again, 72,167. What our weight was last time, 72. So we're going to confirm that. So guess what, guys? I don't even think I'm going to mess with the V speed. So if you come over here and go to takeoff, my V speed should still be in there. We're going to take off flaps 2, and if they're not, we'll put them back in, and they're not. So then that's where we go back over to our rusty, dusty, and most certainly trusty chart here. E170 takeoff profile for flaps 2. We're at 72,100 pounds. So again, I'm just showing you where I'm getting here. Here's the 72,000 pounds. So these are essentially the numbers I'll be using for our liftoff, because we're basically, we can round down right to 72. So those are our V speeds. So I think we're doing well so far, folks. So let's go ahead and put in our V1 speed of 123. The next speed is 133. The actual climb out speed is 141. Then climbing clean is 189. My peeps, 189. There's the climb, takeoff pitch 11, which means 5.5 up. So we're not doing too bad. So now we need to come over here and move our pitch down to 5.5. Okay, now the pitch is 5.5, so that's good. Now, of course, on this departure, until given further instructions, we need to adhere to a specific altitude, but we'll do that here in a second. All right, so now we're going to put in our flight plan, of course. Let's do this together. All right, flight plan. We are going from the ATL over to Nashville, and then from Nashville, the alternate, believe it or not, is Atlanta. Our departure time is going to be 0500 Zulu, and flying time is 43 minutes, so it's going to be a super busy flight as well. And fuel available is the same, and this time we're doing flight level 280. All right, so we don't want that, so let's delete that out, and we'll just get this in there super quick. Booyah! Now we need to get rid of that DCT. And everything looks good. ATL, Nashville, back to ATL, 05, 43 minutes in the air, 2 hours and 45 minutes, 450, boom, I like it. File that flight plan. One thing we forgot to do, which it should have already done, is the chronometer should have stopped already. So let's reset it and stop it. Now we'll reset it again, and we'll hit that again once we roll out of here, folks. So not doing too bad, not doing too bad at all. Let's go ahead and stop the musica, of course. And now Atlanta approach is going to handle us, 1257. So we can turn them back on. Atlanta approach, Delta 318 IFR to Nashville.
Delta 318, clear to the Nashville Airport, pencil to departure, then as filed, maintain 10,000. Expect flight level 280, 10 after. Departure frequency with me, squawk 0406.
Okay, cleared as filed, pencil to departure, then as filed, climb maintain 10,000, expect flight level 28010 minutes after departure. Departure is with you, and squawking 0406 Delta 318.
Delta 318, read that correct, runway 26 left for departure, advisor to taxi.
Okay, 26 left for departure, and what advise ready for taxi for Delta 318. Look at that! What do you know, guys?
3406,
We even already programmed everything in there, so we can ignore them for now, and we can kind of keep bumping until it's time to go. So, we'll stay on frequency, but we'll still rock out. So he said we need to put 10,000 on our initial climb.
Thank you, climb maintain 14,000.
So 10,000 on our initial climb. Okay. And we are going to do the same thing we did last time. We'll get all that situated once we get pushed back, or we'll do it as we're pushing back. And then let's get those speeds up. We'll get our initial speed here to 215. Because again, you want to look and see, we're taking off flaps 2, and flaps 2 is no faster than 215. And actually, that's kind of close. So I usually like to back that up just to keep it safe there. Alright folks, and now we can go ahead and get out of here. Everything is taken care of. Let's double check our fuel stores. Again, 8,392 pounds on board. We do have the APU already running. We didn't connect any ground power. So let's go ahead and get our red beacon on, and we can get pushed back now, folks. So before we do that, since it's kind of a weird pushback.
With Echo.
Alright.
My clearance is still good.
Delta 1156, let approach, yes sir.
Okay, so we're gonna push back kind of right in the middle of this, and then we'll make a turn.
Contact you now, or do you wait till I get to Foxtrot?
So, in order to do that, we gotta come here and essentially switch this over. Now, in order to engage, parking brake now, we're gonna engage that though. And before we do that, folks, one thing he did say is our squawk code is 0406, so 0406. Boom, 0406 squawking, and we're gonna go to TARA, so we don't forget that. Now we can come back over here and we can start going aft. Alright, so now we are pushing aft. Let's get our climb again. And we're going to get that right to about 2,400 feet on the climb. And let me look at the departure. Let's go out here and look and see what we got here. Alright, so on that departure,
climbing 14,000 for American 1337.
the top altitude is 10,000, which is good. And leaving runway 26 left, climb heading 275.
14,000 feet.
So let's go back up here now and get that heading at 275. We also need to get the altimeter.
United 5953, descend to maintain 12,000.
Alright, let's take a look here.
12,000, yeah, 5953.
We're crossing over those lines. Let's see, we have to essentially move ourselves over a little bit. Okay, because we want to be right between these two lines. Alright. We'll wait till the nose gets there, and then we'll go ahead and stop it. Alright. See somebody walking up there. They're just pacing back and forth right there. That's funny. Alright, disengage. Parking brake is set. Alright guys, let's get out of here with no further ado. We're gonna get that engine going on there. Let's also get the ATIS.
Maintain 10,000.
With mode Charlie on the ramps, taxiways, and runways. Advise on initial contact. You will have information Echo.
So Echo is still current.
Negative
check that
information, Echo. 03520. Wind
altimeter.
340 and 6. Visibility 10. 700 entered. Ceiling 15,000 broken. 20,000 overcast. Temperature 9er. 2.7. Altimeter 29904.
Alright, altimeter is 29904, folks. Okay, both engines are on and running well.
Roger, traffic 1.
Okay, steering is open, so let's get our steering on. And now we can go ahead and turn the APU off. Everything else up top looks good, guys. Super quick turnaround.
Got the traffic, United 5953.
Atlanta approach, Delta 318 is pushback information echo is ready to taxi.
Delta 1955 at Tango, cross runway 279, join Lima to parking. Delta 1955 Tango, cross 279, Lima to parking. Alright, Delta 1156, runway 26 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 26 left, RNAV impasse.
Break at 1337, climb and maintain 14000.
Alright, we have less priorities, so he's just letting us know what we need to do.
Climb maintain 14000, contact Atlanta 7.
Delta 2422, flat 330, vector
Again,
final.
welcome everybody to the stream. Having a good time with you guys. Let's get out of here.
Delta 318, runway 26 left, taxi via Foxtrot Echo.
Runway 26 left, Foxtrot Echo, Delta 318. Alright.
1955 at Tango, cross 2.
Alright, we got Foxtrot and Echo.
Sorry about that,
Foxtrot all the way down to Echo. Alright, here we go. Keep the jams going. So what I want you guys to observe is we have our trim set. We've got our flaps to 2. We got our auto brake to rejected takeoff. We have our profile set up for our climb. And we're doing good. Yeah, let's get that speed back where it needs to go. Oops. Alright.
Yeah, 59, 53, roger. You can expect that.
And we can get our speed. For whatever reason, once I make that adjustment, it makes that change. So now I'll go right over to speed of 200. And we're good to go. Let's go ahead and get our taxi lights on. Taxi lights are on. Strobe is off. Parking brake is set. So let's make that something different. Alright guys, looking left, looking right. Let's go find Foxtrot.
Delta 1156.
Delta 1156, roger. Delta 2422, set of maintain 4000.
And that guy drove right through us because he gets down like that.
Turn left heading 095, set of maintain 7000.
Left 095, down to 7000, United 5953.
Alright, so we're heading straight along, and if we stay right here, we should go ahead and get Foxtrot from here. And then Foxtrot, we take that all the way down to Echo. Then as we're taxiing, we'll double check our actual flight plan, but it looks like we're going to climb heading 275 until we get to a certain altitude.
Center 132.97.
132.97 for Delta 1156, good night.
Good night, United 5953 to set a maintain 4000.
Down to 4000 now, United 5953.
Delta 2422 to set a maintain 3000.
So this itself here should be Foxtrot. And if it's not, we'll sidestep over 1. Alright, and we are going to taxi all the way down on Foxtrot to Echo. And eventually, Foxtrot, he should have gave us Delta or something, because we're still going to have to sidestep on over to Echo. Which is okay. And if we come over here to our flight plan, we see everything is squared up right away. So as soon as we get our autopilot on, we can most certainly hit our nav and let the aircraft fly us. Busy airport here today in the Atlanta area on a Thursday night stream with you wonderful folks. Cruising right along here on this taxi.
Delta 2422, turn left heading 300, intercept the localizer.
300, intercept localizer, Delta 2422.
Southwest 1782 to set a maintain 1.
So I think we can use Delta. Here's hotel.
Southwest 1782.
Or even Charlie. So this next main intersection that we're going to come up to, we'll use that as our way to get over to Echo. And once again, everybody, welcome into the stream. If you're just joining, if you've been with us here on the stream, thanks for the support and for your continued viewership.
Delta 1955, signing off. Thank you for the help. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Alright, so the next taxiway can be Charlie. Alright.
Speedbird 2370 Heavy, Atlanta clearance cleared to the Miami airport via the bank to departure, lug transition as filed. Maintain 10,000, expect flight level 370 and 10 minutes, departure frequency with me.
So now this should merge us over to Echo.
Alright, we're cleared to Miami, the bank to departure, lug transition as filed. We'll maintain 10,000, expect 370 departure.
So that was pretty nice. We didn't have to make any turn. It just actually merged us on over to Echo.
United 5953, turn right, heading 180.
Right 180, United 5953.
Speedbird 2370 Heavy, read back correct, runway 27 right for departure, advise we need taxi. 27 right, advise taxi.
So now we are officially on Echo, and we'll take this all the way down.
Went 3406, runway 27 left, clear to land.
Clear to land 27 left, Delta 2422.
Alright, taxiing right along. We are doing well. And over to Nashville, here we come.
Atlanta Bus, good evening. It's Delta 2122, approaching Delta 2121, descending to 16,800 for 12,000, to off all the at 250 knots.
You can see Delta Airlines has got a lot of a lot of hangars over there. Working on their fleet.
Delta 2121, Atlanta Embraer runway 26 right.
26 right, Delta 2121.
United 5953, turn right, heading 250, intercept the localizer.
Alright. You can see here, we are on the taxiway.
United 5953.
Cruising right along. Got our flap profile looking good. Woo, a little bit off the taxiway there. It didn't look right. I didn't think it looked right. Don't ever do that again. That's equivalent of drinking and driving, is looking at yourself from the airport tower. That's the equivalent of drinking and driving. Alright, we are almost getting all the way down to the end of the runway. And then it will be time to take off.
United 5953, maintain 4,000 till established localizer, cleared ILS 26 right approach.
4,000 till established, cleared 26 right, ILS approach United 5953.
Delta 318, runway 26 left, clear for takeoff, wind 306.
26 left, clear for takeoff, Delta 318.
Delta 2121, set a maintain 9,000.
Alright. We are cleared for takeoff. Music comes off now. And let's get our strobe and landing lights on. We are ready for takeoff. Final is clear. We don't need to hit the auto throttles this time because we learned that lesson. If we do auto throttles but keep our profile set up, it doesn't work to our advantage. Alright, we can slow it up.
1782, descend to maintain 7,000.
So maintain 7,000, Southwest 1782.
Okie dokie. Good thing we didn't have any waiting here. We'll line ourselves up appropriately. Really quick, we need to make this stop. I want to get the nav button squared away. And let's get our clock going. Alright. Takeoff power is being set. Make sure we don't redline it. Airspeed is alive.
80 knots.
80 knots, cross check.
V1. VR.
Alright, VR. V rotate coming up. Positive rate. Gear is coming up. Alright. Now we can go ahead and hit that autopilot to our advantage. And first stage of flaps coming up. Landing gear is up. RTO is off. Let's go ahead and turn off the taxi lights. Keep the landing lights on for now, of course. And we are direct to our first waypoint, which is impasse. And we're going up to 10,000. I'm going to go ahead and go for full flaps up. And we'll pull that speed
Delta
back.
318 departure, radar contacts, altitude.
Okay, altitude 3,300, climbing 10,000 feet, Delta 318.
Delta 318, climb maintain 14,000.
14,000, Delta 318.
Southwest 17.
Alright, so we can go on up to 14,000.
So maintain 4,000, Southwest 1782.
Delta 2422, taxi via November Tango and Lima, cross 279 Tango, good night.
Alright, on up to 14,000.
Tango, Lima, cross,
And let's get our speed situated here.
Right, Delta 2422.
United 5953, 1320.
Okay, we're going auto throttle now.
26 right, clear to line, United 5953.
Delta 2121, verified descending to 9,000.
I don't believe you gave it to us, but my bad. We'll go down to 9.
Alright, so now we have the aircraft in our climb profile that we want, up to 14,000. As you can see, it's very hazy here. And up, and away we go. Up, there goes the weather updating. And we can most certainly get our speed up to 250. Under 10,000 feet. Now we're making our right turn. So after takeoff check, gear is all the way up and stowed. Auto brake is in the off position. Landing lights are still on. All the runway taxi lights and all that good stuff are off. And we're just making our nice little right turn. That was a busy airport, but we got through it. Most certainly, yes, we did. And I'm going to go ahead and update my active sky flight plan to reflect we are flying at 28,000 feet.
Central aircraft, land information, Foxtrot's now current level, altimeter 2994.
Alright.
318, contact Atlanta Center 132.97.
Atlanta Center 132.97, Delta 318. Alright, so we're going over 3297. Back over here. 132 .9 or 7.
21, turn right heading 210, and set and maintain 4,000.
Alright, so that 7 needs to be a 5.
29, 21.
60, clear direct to C5 Whiskey.
Atlanta Center, Delta 318 checking in 9,400, climbing 14,000.
Delta 318, Atlanta, climbing, maintaining flight level 280.
Up to flight level 280, Delta 318. Alright, so now we've got our final of 280, which I love it. Want more of it. Oops, whoo! That swung in super close. Alright, folks. So there you go. Now we are above 10,000 feet, so we can do two things. We can take these landing lights off up here, which it's super dark up there, at least on my screen, and then we can, of course, increase the speed now to 280. Aircraft is going to pitch down.
Delta 922, cross Erlin. And
let's increase the range right here.
Information Foxtrot.
13.
There we go. We got that range squared away. Again, everybody, thanks for watching the stream. We're increasing speed here. We got in and out of one of the United States and world's busiest airport, Atlanta Hartfield. We got in and we got out, folks, so that's a good thing. Now we are
922 cross
cruising right along.
4,000.
14.
All right, not sure if we're going to have any air traffic control where we land.
Delta 1630 at pilot's discretion, descend and maintain flight level 240, transition to 300 indicated.
Okay, pilot discretion 240, transition 300, Delta 1630.
All right, just trying to double check to see if we're going to have any air traffic control from where we land. And it looks like we do, folks, so we might have air traffic control on this whole flight. We are already in center, so we should be able to do some jamming here. And as you guys can see here, very interesting. We're about to ascend into these little cloud layer here, but that doesn't scare us.
1337, contact Memphis Center 133.65.
See, Memphis Center will be who's taking us in. All right, we are doing good on our way. On our way right into this cloud layer. Oh.
1778, descend at pilot's discretion, maintain flight level 240, transition to 280 indicated.
All right, folks.
Descend, maintain flight level 240, transition 280 indicated, Delta 1778.
Right into these clouds. At 18,000 feet, we will go ahead and put this bad boy into the standard altimeter pressure. Alright, 18,000 feet has been achieved. Now that is in the standard pressure, of course. We're doing good on fuel and we are rolling right along. Passing those nice little Charmin clouds. All right. Moving right along. So the weather in Nashville is
United 170, verify you're descending via the Jedi 2 arrival.
okay. So winds in Nashville are calm.
Delta Mike, turn 10 degrees right.
Previous to them being calm, here I'll just show you guys.
10 degrees right, 2 Delta Mike.
Previous to them being calm, they were out of the south. They were variable, they were northern early, so then they're south, so we'll see what happens there.
Delta 1630.
VFR condition, which means the visibility is pretty good.
Information Foxtrot.
That's my man 14 now, Delta 1630, get Delta.
The Atlanta altimeter 29994.
Alright, cruising right along. Just noticing the stream froze up there for a second. Alright, so what I'm doing now, I'm just, it's kind of a weird song now, let's get rid of that one. Trying to figure out, check my speed here, make sure we're doing...
Escape Route 11, level 5410.
Let's decrease our rate of climb.
Delta, what's that call sign? Springfield
Those
11.
engines were working harder, so I brought our rate of climb down to 2,000 feet.
Springfield 11 Atlanta.
Actually, I can bring it down a little bit more.
2061.
Alright. I'm going to look and see what runway Delta, or what gate Delta usually lands at. Alright, so in Nashville, gate B7.
Springfield 11, radar contact, flight level 410, 32 miles west-southwest of Atlanta.
So gate B7 is what we're going to need in Atlanta.
170, contact approach 125.7. Contact approach 125.7.
Alright, we are doing good here.
Delta 1778, cross glass.
So here is the runway options that we have here, which are quite significant. We won't use this runway, and more than likely we won't be using this runway, so this will probably be the primary stretch of real estate that we're going to use. Would be runway 13 and the opposite 31. Parking gates for Bravo 7. Bravo 7 is on this side here.
2 Delta Mike, say heading. 040 Delta.
So the Bravo 7 is right over here.
Roger, turn right heading 060.
Now we are arriving on the Swift 2, so let's also look at that.
060 Delta Mike.
We're transitioning Jaguar, and then you can see here at a day we need to be at 250 knots between 12,000 and 8,000 feet. And again, previously it was Southern Landings, which that would be runway 13. But we'll see what we get here. Alright, so we will be monitoring that. Let's pick up on our speed a little bit. We're doing Mach 7.2. Let's get up to 7.4 at least.
American 1042 after ePay, descend and maintain 4,000.
Alright. Cruising right along, everybody. Cruising right along. Now let's see here. Let me just double check all the points we have in here. Swift, Jaguar, Hemat, a day. It should at least go to a day, but it goes to Tiers. And Tiers has us landing on runway 2 left, center, or right. So we don't know if that's what it'll be, but we can at least get to a Deers. Or I'm sorry, a day. Yep, and it should be 250 at least at 12,000. So that's a good sign. So we're good at least until there, folks. You know how we do it. Now, good rule of thumb, you always want to keep your heading. I'm going to push this button and it just centered up the heading in case we have to switch the heading for whatever reason. Alright, so until then, we're just going to continue to cruise. And let's look at our major approaches. So runway
Delta 1630, contact approach 125.
2 Charlie, 2 left. So then we've got quite a bit of precision approaches for this runway. So now it's just a matter of seeing what we get. All right.
American 1042, turn right heading 270, descend and maintain 3000.
Right 270.
Now, if we want to look at again and see when we're going to start descending,
Are you able to go direct to the Greensboro VOR Golf?
we should be descending in about 3 minutes.
Negative, I wouldn't be able to punch that one in. Okay, Roger. I was wondering maybe if VOR receiver might have worked, or just the whole avionics system is just not wanting to cooperate. The G1000 is frozen. I'd have to use the secondary avionics. Okay, Roger. No need to worry about it. Your present heading is doing just fine. I think. Delta 318 at pilot's discretion, descend and maintain flight level 240.
At pilot's discretion, descend and maintain flight level 240, Delta 318.
Delta 1778, contact approach 125.7. 2579, Delta 1778.
Alright, so we have approach on and center. Center is 13365.
Join the 36 right localizer.
I'm just preparing the next centers.
Right is 340, join the 36 right localizer, American 1042.
Alright. Let's look and see where it wants us to be at 24,000 feet, if anywhere. At Lens and 30 nautical miles at above 24,000 feet, so that's why he gave us that. So we got about 29 nautical miles to go there. Here in a second we'll start descending to there, and actually we can just start a nice little descent there to Lens now.
American 1042, 4 miles to SIG-2, maintain 3000 till established on the localizer, cleared ILS, runway 36 right approach.
Maintain 3000 till established on the localizer, cleared visual.
Alright.
ILS 36 right.
We're starting our descent already.
American 1042, I did tell you to expect the visual, but my apologies. Charlotte Airport is 1 o'clock, 10 miles, call it inside.
Airport plane, American 10.
American 1042, clear visual, runway 36 right, cleared ILS. Whatever you'd like to do, sir, airport's yours.
Alright. Moving right along.
American 1042, contact Charlotte Tower, now 118.1, good evening.
We are doing good.
Delta 318, contact Memphis Center 133.65, good evening.
Okay, over to Memphis Center 133.65. You have a good evening and well, and once again, Happy New Year, Delta 318.
Thank you, sir. Delta 1165,
All right.
you're leaving my airspace to the...
Good evening, Memphis Center, Delta 318, checking in flight level 269er, descending flight level 240.
Delta 318, Memphis Center, good evening. Descend via the Swift to arrival landing south, leading Nashville, altitude 299.7.
Okay, we'll descend via the Swift 2, landing south, altimeter 299.7 for Delta 318. Alright, so after Swift, we have high mat above 10,000 feet. At Swift, we need to be between 13,000 and 20,000, and we are landing south, so that means from a day we're probably going to transition to breath. And we're probably going to get runway 13. So from a day, track to Kurs, or it's actually a day to hours. Okay. All right. figuring some stuff out here, so we'll keep descending to the... Going through some clouds there, of course. Alright, and at Swift, we need to be between 20,000 and 13,000. High Mat, we need to be above 10,000. So once we get to this waypoint, we can most certainly make a more calculated descent so we can get some better points here, and we're landing south. So southern runways would be 20 left, center and right. But we'll be tracking somewhere different for those. And I said the altimeter was 29907. I do believe approach is online as well, so let's see what they are. Let's see, that's 118.4. And let's see if we're going to get ATIS there. BNA ATIS 1351. .135.1. All right. So let's go ahead and shut the music off, and let's see if we can pick up the ATIS. Just leave that on there for a minute. Okay, now we're passing that waypoint. There we go. We'll keep that. Let's see. At Jaime, or at, I believe it's High Mat. Yeah, High Mat. We should be above 10,000. At a day, we're supposed to be between 12 and 8. So let's plan for a day to be at 12 and 8. So we actually have a good descent profile. We'll get to a day at about 9,700 feet, which I'm okay with. We're supposed to be between 12,000 and 8,000. So that's a really good altitude to have, folks.
Endeavour 2567, Memphis, good evening, climbing team flight level 290.
290, Endeavour 2567.
And of course, let's make sure we square up that heading. Heading is squared up. Let's look at our fuel burn for this so we can calculate our landing speeds again. Again, staying ahead of the aircraft. Alright, fuel burn for this leg is 2,500 pounds. So essentially now we're going to be landing heavier. If you guys remember, we were 72.1. So 72.1 is 70,100 pounds with 25. So that'll bring us right at like 69.5 on the landing. So with that being said, I'm going to look at that rusty dusty chart that we all looked at before and look for 69.5 at flaps 5 landing. So essentially our V speeds will calculate right at 70,000. So again here you go. Here is 69,000 pounds E170. We're going to calculate, so our VREF will be 130, so on and so forth. The winds are calm, so we'll just add 5 to that unless the winds trick us. So now let's come right over here to our perf. We're going to go to landing, and now we're going to go put in those V speeds. Okay, here VREF, this last time was 129. V approach was 134. 155. So actually, we're just going to leave these numbers in here. Minus the VREF, we're going to say is 130. V approach, we'll leave everything. Everything in here is pretty much copacetic. 1 mile per hour or so is not going to make a big difference. So I like that profile. And of course, now a day is the last point on there. So we will definitely need to be adding another waypoint once we get direct today. And you say there it's 250 at 12,000, but we're going to be doing something different than that. Let's make this scope come back here. And you can see here, we're pretty much going to stay on that same heading for a day. So let's square that up once again. Alright, that is squared up. Alright, now I'm going to come back over here to our taxi charts. And again, we got to get the ATIS, because these are shorter runways, which we can land on with this aircraft. We just got to get on it. So, I mean, 20 right and 20 left are definitely southern runways. So we'll get the ATIS. The ATIS is going to determine what southern runway we're going to expect. So with that being said, let's come back over here again, and we must still be too far away. Let's double check that. 13510 is actually the ATIS in real life, so I'm impressed that yep, and the ATIS there is 1351. So for once they actually use the right actual frequency. So we got comms too, 1351, but we must still be obviously quite the distance from there. Alright, so I'm assuming 130 is more or less considered to be a maybe eastern landing. That'll determine which way we land, but that technically is landing south.
Delta 13, contact Nashville, approach to 118.4.
I think that was for me. Okay, going over to Nashville approach, 118.4, Delta 318. So that was Nashville approach, Delta 318, 15,700, descending via the Swift 2. And we haven't been able to get the ATIS there yet, even when we tuned into it. So once we get that weather on board, we will advise.
Delta 318, Nashville approach, good evening. The Nashville temperature 907, expect to visual runway 20 right, and I'll work on that ATIS, see if I can get it working.
Okay, we'll be expecting 20 right, altimeter 29907. Thanks for that, for Delta 318. Alright, so that answered all our questions. 20 right, that's all I needed to know. So now we can go in and add in our points. So after a day,
American 831, turn left heading 240, vector
breath. So we're going to be going direct to breath.
Right or left 240.
So let's square up that heading.
American 831, I'm sorry, be a left turn.
And now let's go to breath. So over here on the flight plan,
Left heading 240.
after a day, we're going to go to breath.
Yeah, I think it's bedtime. American 1337, one's calm, runway 20, right, clear line.
Then after breath, Cora. Then after Cora is Hackham. And then after Hackham,
American 831, Nashville Airport, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 miles, report to field inside.
alright, he said, let's see here, ILS 02 right.
American 831 got the field inside.
American 831, clear visual approach runway 20 right.
So we'll activate that.
American 831.
And let's get this back on the
Delta
nav.
318, the ATIS says it's transmitting if you want to try again.
Okay, appreciate that. We'll go ahead and get weather on board and advise, but for now we're set up for 02 right for Delta 318.
Delta 318, roger, and if it's not working, I can just read it off for you.
Okay, roger that. We'll give her a try now, and we'll get back with you here shortly, Delta 318.
Roger.
Okay, so we're working stuff out on the Star Swift 2. So now at breath we need to be above 6,000 and chorus 6,000. And I forgot to add a waypoint of SIPO. So let's go down here. Well, first of all, let's get the ATIS. We'll just leave it on there for a second. Alright, after Hackham is SIPO. So let's add that in. Activate that. And then after SIPO will be our arrival. So then we can essentially come in here and do arrival. And we're doing ILS 02 right. ILS 02 right. And let's go ahead and activate that. Go to the flight plan. So we'll add this previous, and after SIPO, boom, activate that. Now looks like we've got a fluid arrival. ATIS is still on, nothing here, so you see that. Memphis approach, Delta 318. Yeah, we tried again. We stayed on the channel for a second. We double checked the frequency and still nothing there. So you can go ahead and read us to ATIS if you would like. Otherwise, we have checked flight aware and we have the current weather minus the phonetic letter to assign the weather update.
Delta 318, sorry about that. VATIS is just being VATIS tonight. I'll get it to you in a sec.
Okay, no worries about that for Delta 318. Alright.
American 831, winds coming
So,
right to line.
We are still doing great. Breath is above 6,000 and SIPO's at 5,000.
Delta 318, you ready for it?
Delta 318 is ready to copy.
Delta 318, Nashville, latest information, Charlie is current, 0453 Zulu, winds are calm, visibility 9er, ceiling is light level 220 broken, temperatures 2.3, altimeter 29097, landing runway 20 right, departing runway 20 center, and 20 right, ILS and visual approaches in use, advise on initial contact, you have information, Charlie.
Okay, we do have Charlie on board, and thank you for reading the matter for us for Delta 318.
No worries.
Alright.
American 1337, safe parking.
Repeat.
American 1337, safe parking.
Copy that. American 1337 parking.
Sorry, a second.
Alright, so 2-0. Looking
Where do
good.
you want to put me?
And now we need to look for that
You good with the
approach
Charlie gates?
for runway 20
American
right.
1337, roger, texted Charlie gates via Bravo, Charlie 3, no correction, Tango 3, Tango 4, and then cross
20 right is 111.3.
Roger.
So we'll come here and it's 111.3 on the arrival. As far as the localizer frequency, which we have to put in,
Delta 318, pilot discretion, descend and maintain 4,000.
pilot's discretion down to 4,000, Delta 318. Alright, so We can get 4,000 programmed in. And essentially he's probably doing that so that we
American 831, where do you plan to be parking tonight?
We'll go to the Charlie gate on American 831.
American 831, Roger.
Alright, so we're doing good on the speed there. Alright, 111.3. We said 111.3 is in there. 111.3 is going to go in there as well for this ATIS. Boom. 111.3 is in there, so now we have that, and then you guys also know we need to come over here and hit this preview button. Now that activates our course, and the final course setting is 201. Touchdown elevation is 599 feet. So right around 800 will be our radial altimeter. Alright, so
Road Cessna 808 Kilo Mike with you, 3,100.
So 20 right, we're definitely going to have to do a back taxi all the way to Bravo Concourse. He'll need to get us over to Tango 4 actually, and get us
November
back in there.
808 Kilo Mike, Nashville approach, starts again.
Or we can taxi Bravo all the way up to Tango 2. So it's a weird taxi, but it'll be to the left. And it's a very short runway.
November 8 Kilo Mike,
So
sorry,
now
your
we
first
can't mess
transmission
around.
coming in a little bit broken and staticky.
We're definitely going to do a
We're just coming out of the other airspace here.
Medium
Maneuvers, and we're instructed to change our
auto brake. And we
November
should
8
be
Kilo Mike, are
super
you to
slow.
the north or to the, or correction, to the east or the west?
And actually, runway is a little shorter, so let me
to the south.
take a look and see what flaps full is at 70,000. So 122.
November 8 Kilo Mike, are you in the air or on the ground?
Alright, so we're going to do full flaps landing.
808 Kilo Mike just departed Kilo Hotel.
So let's
Sierra
fix
Victor,
this up.
And
VREF is 122
just want to let you know that we're in the
because the runway is shorter. VREF is
Maybe
122, which makes V approach plus 5 would be 127. Climb out is going to be 136.
November 8 Kilo Mike, you can contact Memphis Center 133.65.
And then 187 for flaps clean.
Switching over,
So now we're landing at
135,
full flaps,
Kilo Mike.
folks. Alright, let's bring that speed back.
Delta 318, turn right heading 360.
Right, 360, Delta 318. Alright, so let's square the heading up. Now we are on heading, and we're going to turn right to 360. He's given us the visual, which comes into 000, so I'm slowing the aircraft down as well. We're almost at 4,000. He's basically turning us downwind from the runway, so let's increase that range again so that we can see what we're doing. You can see the runways here, so he's basically turning us downrange.
Whiskey 11 approach.
Whiskey 11, departure good.
Looking to grab a VFR, do a couple spins around the pavement here.
Alright. So we are doing good. We have to remember we are doing a full flaps landing.
Whiskey 1, maintain VFR below 2,500, departures with me, spoken 045.
Final approach course is 201, which we have that in there. And IVIVI is the, and I'm just double checking, we're in a little
Whiskey,
cloud here.
11, Rebecca is correct, pushing stars at your discretion, cover taxi,
Alright,
expect runway
speed check
207.
flaps 1. So we got flaps 1 coming down.
And we'll call ready for taxi, we'll expect Titsers there.
So we are downwind from the runway right now.
Abermaki MB 339.
Alright. Auto brake set to medium. All our landing lights are on. Let's turn that logo light on too, just because
Delta
we're cool.
318, turn right heading 020, vectors visual.
020 on the heading vectors visual, Delta 318. Alright, so here we go, 020.
Whiskey 1, I'll just make sure I understood you correctly. You want to do pattern?
Affirm.
Roger.
Alright, we're going speed check flaps 2.
And Departure Whiskey 1-1, can you let me know if I'm squawking?
Whiskey 1, I'm on V star, so I won't know until you're in the air.
Alright. So we're at 4,000 to be at Hickory.
Affirm.
On the approach, let's take a quick look at it. Here we are. We're downwind from the runway. Hickory, we're supposed to be at 4,000 here. And then we're bringing it all the way in. So he's giving us vectors. Not quite sure if he's trying to have us do the visual or not. But we will be set up for ILS. You know how we roll. So if he tells us to pick up the ILS, we are already set up. Here's our approach heading of 201. And there you go. So I just wanted to share that with you fine folks. And we will be landing here shortly in the Nashville area, folks. The Nashville area. All right.
And Whiskey 1-1 ready for taxi.
Whiskey 1 on runway 20 center, taxi via Kilo Tango 507.
So 20 center is the runway they're taxiing off of.
Kilo Tango 507, runway 20 center. Whiskey 1-1.
Nice and green down there.
Delta 318, turn left heading 290.
290 on the heading, Delta 318. Alright. 290, here we come. Now he's basically going to turn us downwind, or which is west turn, and then we'll turn south. Alright, you can see the flaps here are set to 2. We just made a nice left turn, and we are now basically perpendicular to the runway.
Let's go up once or twice, come back down.
Roger.
So he probably is going to give us the ILS. Because essentially we're here, we're going to make a left turn, and then we'll be on final. So once again, let's do our final checks here. Everything looks good. Auto brake is to 2. We have flaps profile 2. Our V speeds are set in, our VREF, and we have all of our landing lights on. Nose and taxi gear are on already. So when the gear comes out, we have lots of illumination. And it is
Delta 318, turn left heading 250, and then the turn, the one from the airport of Nashville will be off there about your 10, 11 o'clock, and 1 to 1 miles, report to field site.
okay, left 250, and we will report the field in sight. Just FYI here, it's a little hazy, so we might not have the field right away, but I'll advise you once we have it, Delta 318.
Delta 318, roger.
Alright. Okay.
Whiskey 1-1, winds are
Alright,
calm.
should be right at
right
our...
crosswind for runway 20 right, runway 20 center, clear for takeoff.
And we'll enter right crosswind for 20 right. Whiskey 1-1, clear for takeoff. And we'll make right close traffic.
Delta 318, the Nashville airport about your 10 o'clock, about 8 miles.
Delta 318 does now have the field in sight.
Delta 318, roger. Turn left heading 200, join the runway 20 right localizer.
200 to join the runway 20 right localizer, Delta 318. Alright. So I figured that would have been the plan anyway.
He said it was just hazy or was it cloudy?
It's hazy here. I use Active Sky for X-Plane, and it's very hazy, but now, I mean, I can see the field, but it's just where you can barely see it for Delta 318.
Right. Delta 318, turn heading 220.
220 on the heading Delta 318.
And Whiskey 11, confirm squawking 0451.
We'll check 0451. You mind if we check it on the ground?
Yeah, sir.
Alright.
Delta 318, Nashville Airport, 12 o'clock, 4 miles.
And I do have the field in sight for Delta 318.
Delta 318, also, you're clear for the visual approach, runway 20 right, winds are calm, runway 20 right, clear line.
Cleared visual approach, runway 20 right, Delta 318. Alright, folks.
And Tower Whiskey, one more correction, approach Whiskey 11. Was that 0451?
Gear is coming down.
Whiskey 11, they're going to be 0454.
Alright, how's that?
Did I say 0451 on the last one?
You did.
An approach, yeah. For Delta 318, we're going to go ahead and go miss. We were way too close to the field to even try to get that down, so Delta 318 is going miss this time.
Delta 13, roger, fly runway heading, and then you can expect vectors ILS runway 20 right.
Okay, we'll fly runway heading, expecting vectors ILS 20 right, Delta 318. And you want us to stay right here at 4,000?
Hey,
Okay, roger that. Alright, so
Whiskey 11, traffic now factor, runway 20 right, clear for the option.
20 right, clear for the option. Whiskey 11.
alright, so we're going to stay here. We're going to put
Yeah, I didn't
our
catch that wrong. We're back
auto
on
throttle back on.
It's just that late for me, I guess. It's been a long day.
Understood.
So, let's get the gear back up. Yeah, that was, we're calling go around on that. He got us vectored in there for too last minute. Way too last minute. It didn't look good. He should have had us lower a lot earlier. So again, if the approach doesn't look good, we're going to go around. And it didn't look good.
Delta 318, turn left heading 180.
180, Delta 318. So we'll keep our flaps right where they're at, and let's go left 180, and he's just basically going to swing us around. Alright. Aircraft wanted to try to catch that localizer again. We didn't want that for sure. So we're here flying at flaps 2. Everything else is normal. That approach was horrible, so now we can most certainly do the visual. And we'll up our speed to 190. But we'll keep our flaps down.
Delta 318, turn left heading 090.
Left 090, Delta 318. Yeah, we definitely shouldn't have any type of approach like that, especially, you know, you got to call that as a pilot because, he's probably still in training. So that was a good vector to get to the runway, and we did report that there was low visibility. We did get the field, and it was a little hazy, but there was no way we were making that on the visual landing. It would have been so sloppy, and all of our hard work would have been for nothing. So the beautiful thing is we get to do it again here, because we are not playing around. Most certainly not playing around. Appreciate you, JNG Aviation, for saying love the content, man. Been subbed. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And here again, guys, just as if you're checking in with the stream, just a quick update. We are on approach into the Nashville area. We left out of Charlotte with one stop in Atlanta, which was super busy. Now we're coming into the Nashville area, and
Delta 318, turn left heading 020.
020, Delta 318. And our first
Whiskey 11,
approach wasn't so hot, so nobody's fault per se, but just made a decision to do a go around because I didn't like the approach. We definitely weren't going to get any type of good landing off of that. So that's what we're doing, guys. So we're making an attempt for runway 20 right. Second attempt. First attempt was aborted even before we really committed. We made a decision. I took the once I looked down and looked at the runway and was getting the aircraft under, keeping it stable, I said, nah, that doesn't look good. So again, you can see here we're downwind, and now we kind of will also use our map or PFD or MFD, I'm sorry, multifunction display orientation. You can see here we're back into that cloud, but we're not going to worry about it. Once we drop a little bit, you can see we're back into that haze, but we'll just use our information on board to make sure we're aligned, and the ILS, and then so we'll just call out the runway and we can do it better that way. So if we come here to flight plan, we've only got these two other waypoints in there, so we're going to start getting a lot lower. Of course, Hickory, we were supposed to be at 4,000, but Hickory's not even in here anymore just because it's expecting that we did the missed approach, because we did go around. So, again, everybody, thanks for checking in. Thanks for the comments. I'm glad you guys are liking the... I almost sounded Australian there. I'm glad you guys are liking the content. I don't know if that's an Australian accent, but that's what I'm doing there. I'm going to call it one. All right. Again, we are supposed to be parking at Trusty Rusty Dusty Gate Bravo 7. We've already kind of identified that where it is at on the field. So here shortly we'll be getting our vectors to our final leg. And if he were to turn this now, I could look, essentially, even though it's not on board, let's just say I had a tablet on board, which in these days I would. This is the information I would have. So you can see we're downwind of the runway once again. And if he were to turn us right now to Opry, we would need to get down to 2,000 feet. So that's why once he
good morning.
once he tried to say that we were cleared to land, and I've made that decision to go around, we were way too close. We were still at 4,000 feet. So that wouldn't have worked at all. So we need to be at 2,000 right here at Opry in order to even get the glide slope on heading of 201. So.
Good evening, clear turn close to base.
Alright, so we got a little bit better visibility here.
Whiskey 11, winds calm, runway 20 right, clear for option.
20 right, clear for the option. Whiskey 11.
Alright. So, he's bringing us basically all the way back out to Hickory. Dickory Dock. We don't know who ran up the clock. Could have been a mouse. Anyway, we're getting ready to make our turn here shortly and get ourselves on the ground. All right. Again, hope everybody's having a good week thus far. Tomorrow is Friday. TGIF. Okay, so we're almost to Hickory, so here in a minute he's going to go ahead and give us that turn.
Angelo 6116, ready to copy.
And don't forget, 126 is the view approach.
Dulles International Airport, Chatham 3 departure, spot transition and star, climb maintain 4,000, expect flight level 330, 10 minutes, 5 minutes after departure. Departures with me, squawk 1551.
Alright, we'll get our gear back down here in a second, where we still are on the Flaps 2 profile. Fuel is looking good, we still have a lot of fuel on board.
Delta 319, turn left heading 290.
Left 290, Delta 318.
Air Shuttle 6116, read Becker's correct, push and start at your discretion, call for taxi, expect runway 20 right. 20 right, call for taxi, Air Shuttle 6116.
So now he's basically giving us our base turn again, and we're just going to report the field in sight and take her on in.
And Whiskey 1-1 requesting full stop.
Whiskey 1-1, roger, winds are calm, runway 20 right, clear to land.
20 right, clear to land, Whiskey 1-1.
Alright, so we got a person landing. Here's the field over here. So we got an aircraft, this Whiskey 1-1. He's on approach. That's the same runway we're going to. So we do have the field in sight. It's right over here, folks. I don't know if you can see that. And this guy here is on approach. He looks like he's VFR traffic, and he's hitting the same runway we're going to hit. So there you go. Back into some haze.
Delta 318, approximately 8 miles from Opry, turn left heading 230, maintain at about 2,700 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS, runway 20 right approach.
230 on the heading, we'll maintain 4,000 until established on localizer for 20 right, which we are cleared ILS 20 right approach for Delta 318. Alright.
Whiskey 1, next left enable.
Well, that'd be great, but we didn't have a landing gear.
So now we're getting on approach.
Just gonna go ahead and get out of gentleman's way.
You forget to put them down?
That's gonna be an A-firm.
Nah, that's going in the Discord.
Alright, so
yeah.
that guy forgot to put his landing gear down, which we won't. Our landing gear is coming down.
Delta 318, report established.
Okay, we will report established on the localizer for Delta 318.
Thank you.
Alright, so let's reduce that speed back, of course.
Additional aircraft Nashville approach will be closed in about 5-10 minutes.
Let me extend this to make sure we're on it good for the ILS, so let's come over just slightly. And we have that ILS already planned, and now we're going to get the glide slope.
Delta 319, are you sure you're not set up on 20 left?
Okay, roger that. Yeah, we're set up on 20 right for Delta 318.
Delta 318, roger, you're showing about half a mile off to the left center line, off of 20 left.
Okay, roger that. We're adjusting a few degrees here. What was that last heading you gave us to intercept the localizer?
230.
Okay, roger that. That's what the problem was. We had the heading wrong. We went to 200, so we're flying ahead at 230 until we're established localizer for Delta 318. And we need to go ahead and start descending because we'll be in trouble. Once again, we would totally be in trouble. Alright, and again, we need to be right at about 2,000. Alright. We're going full flaps. We're reducing the speed, of course.
Delta 318, let me know when you're established for 20, right?
Okay, I'll let you know when we're established. Delta 318. Alright, so let's bring that speed back. Flaps are to full. And we should be getting established here any second. And if not, we're definitely low enough as the field is right here. Delta 318 is established on the localizer for 20 right.
Delta 318, roger, winds calm, runway 20 right, clear the line.
20 right, cleared to land, Delta 318. Alright, there we go. And we are most certainly below the glide slope. So now we're just going to go ahead and take it off autopilot.
Air Shuttle 6116, Air Shuttle departure.
Alright. Gear is down, 3 green, flaps are to full.
And when you get the chance, can you check and see if ATIS is working at 135.1?
Let us bring this bad boy in.
We're checking it right now.
Roger, thanks.
Alright. Now we have ourselves an approach, which I like.
Nashville Air Shuttle 616, we just checked the ATIS and it's still doing a good work.
Yeah, see the ATIS is still not working for him. Alright, and we're just doing all visual here, of course. Alright, speed is looking good. Let's drop her down here.
1,000.
We're going to get this aircraft on the ground one way or another, folks. We're at 1,000. We're about at 830 something feet above. Speed is good. We're a little bit over our V approach, but that's okay. Flaps full. All right, folks.
500.
All right, folks. Let's see if we can get center line here.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
All right, it's an acceptable landing. All right, reversers are out.
Trim. 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 Trim.
All right, we're gonna roll out right on down
Delta
the road.
318, welcome to Nashville, next left when able, so far.
Okay, left when able, and we'll be parking at gate Bravo 7 for Delta 318.
Delta 318, roger, taxi to the gate via Bravo Tango 2, cross runway 31.
Taxi Bravo Kilo 2 Crossway 31 for Delta 318.
Delta 318, it'll be Bravo Tango 2.
Bravo Tango 2.
Unable to find view ID.
All right. So we made it. It was an acceptable landing, which is still acceptable in my book. And here we are on Bravo 2.
Attention all aircraft, Nashville departure is now closing, radar services are terminated, frequency change approved.
All right, we're definitely going to...
Thanks for your ATC, have a good night.
Happy New Year, dear brother. Thanks for the ATC, Delta 318. All right.
Not a problem, sir.
All right, so we did make it. Quite an interesting landing. We'll get the replay going here. As soon as we get straightened up here, we'll get our lights off. Welcome into Nashville. Approach was messed up first time by almost, you know, I don't want to point any fingers, but we didn't get the descent close enough. And then on the last one, I kind of made it difficult as well because I put in the wrong heading there. Let's get these landing lights off, but it's really no big deal. We handled that. And get this runway turn off light. Let's get the strobe off. And we're headed to Tango 2. And let's get that APU on. APU is coming on. Alright, we're going to cross runway 31 here in a second. And then once we get to Tango 2, that's essentially where we need to be. We'll do our replay and call it a day. Thank everyone for flying on board with us, of course. It's been a true pleasure. All right. We're crossing runway 31 here. Look left, clear. Right is clear. All right. And then we are most certainly going to get the replay. That's Lima, and then the next one will be Tango 2. There is that terminal. All right, coming up on Tango 2. Here's Tango 2. All right, and we should be coming right up here to our gate. Our gate should be the second from the corner, so it should be this gate right here. All right. Okay. And there is our gate there. Alright, parking brake is set. Alright, let's get the transponder off so we can go to radio, even though he's not on there anymore. Transponder is off. Let's go up top and turn those taxi lights off and the red beacon off now. And we can shut her down and get our replay. Alright. Aircraft is shutting down. Now let's go ahead and disconnect from the Vatsim network, which I always forget to do, but I'm going to be a responsible Vatsim networker this time. Alright. And now we can get into the replay. So, with that being said, you're going to hear me, but you will not see me until we get this replay set up. Alright. Okie dokie. I think we have a good profile set up here. Alright. Here we go. Here we go. Our landing into Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you guys once again for flying along with me. Pretty smooth flight. We didn't really get any trouble with ATC. Did a go around on the first one. Made it in by the skin of our chinny chin chin on the next one. As far as the approach. Alright, look at that profile. Not bad at all. Right in the target area. Little bounce, but there we go. Nose down. Looking good, folks. Looking good. Let's hit that up again. You know I got to see that touchdown more than once. All right, almost there. Oh, too far back. All right. See us float in again over that city. Again, we're doing that tower view. All right. Gonna see a little bounce even though we had a good flare, so very acceptable landing, of course. Nice and slow and smooth. We did a good job. Definitely good choice on that one, especially because the runway was shorter. So I think usually when I land less flaps, I usually get super floaty and it can hit the ground just a little bit harder, but there's nothing you can do about it. If the runway is shorter, then that's what you have to do. And so I think we did a good job with that. Little off center, but well on the runway, so that's good. That is very good. So let's do our last replay before we get up out of here. And of course, you guys know how I like to do it. We're gonna get a nice wing view here landing. Until the next time I stream, take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a great week. Hope you're going into a great weekend. Stay safe, and again, thanks for all your support. This is Dre Sanchez, aka the Motivated Sim Pilot, and we gonna ride out like we normally do. So we'll see you next time. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll keep the content coming to the best of my ability. Take care, everybody. Bye.